Right, day 3, ageless, mobility and beautifying the arms. I've been practicing this all day. Well, not all day, because I've been doing some other things as well, but I am very much looking forward to this. So we're going to just launch straight in with some movements. So Qigong based and also quite a few ballet based exercises for the beautifying of the arms. I will show everything. If there's anything you think, oh, I'm not sure about that, you have to do it. It's not like being at school. So you just, whatever you want to do. And as I've been suggesting kind of like over the last few days, if there's something particularly you really like, just lock it away and think that's something I might try, you know, in my own little practice. So first of all, we're just going to come and find a space. Let me come a little bit closer to you. Just gently tapping your chest, collarbone, so you can kind of go around. As I mentioned, I am an EFT coach as well, and tapping collarbone here lowers cortisol levels. So if you're ever feeling a little stressed out, or if you want to stimulate your immune system, just tapping in the middle. And we're just going to do a couple of affirmations. So you can say this out loud, or you can say it in your mind. I am open to ageless mobility. Checking with your body. I am open to grace and ease in my body. Lovely. Now we're going to activate a little bit Chi. So especially because we're using arms, so you're just going to go all the way down your arms, all the way to your fingers and back up at the inside. It's all around your shoulders. This is part of my morning practice. It wakes me up. Lovely. Now, all the way down the side of your body and up. I love how different bits of your body sound. Like this sounds really solid. Other side. Now, the gate of life, which is your lower back here. So you could either rub it, or you could have a drum roll. You could go up a bit higher and down. I'm just going to come around this way because I know you lose the volume a bit. Hello, love. Hiya. So just giving that little drum, we're just here. So this is called the gate of life. It stimulates your kidneys and adrenals. So again, very calming. And then lightly, you can either drum roll your tummy or you can kind of flick. Now, with your legs, you've got choices. You could either kind of tap down your legs and kind of go down like that, or sometimes it's nice to balance your leg on the sofa, something like that. Or you could, if you're feeling flexible, you could kind of go down the outsides and hang and come up the insides. But basically, you just want to give your legs all the way down to your ankles. Okay. So we're going to mobilize our shoulders first of all. So just feet hip distance apart, so we're not ballet-fied just yet. Just going to come parallel. Just rolling the shoulder back and the other one. And just think about your shoulder blades, easing into them, breathing gently. Lovely. Now, I find this harder. You're going to extend your arms so they're straight, and you're going to go one shoulder and then the other, but try not to do this. That's kind of how I like to roll this, with soft elbows, but try and keep. Yeah, it's hard because it really is just bringing the focus just into your shoulder blades rather than your soft elbows. Yes, just have a little go of that. And when you've gone one way, try and go the other way and still keep those arms. Maybe imagining you've got something on the palm of your hand, holding on to something. Just easing it. Lovely. Shake it out. Just squeeze yourself. Doesn't matter how you grab your forearms. Just rotate one way and just squeeze. A bit like, you know, when you're wring out a dishcloth. You want to have that lovely feeling. You're squeezing without pinching the middle of your back. And then release and the other way. Release. Now this next bit would be more helpful if my camera was around the other way. So I'm going to kind of show you this way, but I'll be this way. So you're going to take your arms out to the side with, let me come right back here, dropped elbows like that, okay? I'm coming in closer now, but that my arms are like that. Now, first of all, we want to find our focus. So again, this is really hard to do. Just your eyeballs looking at one hand and center and the other. So don't do that with your head. Just your eyes. So staying soft in the middle, keep your eyes focused, and you're going to look one way, maybe to the right, and back to the center, and then the left. Try and see your fingers out the corner of your eyes. And as you're doing that, say, I choose to get focused now. It's a great exercise for your eyes. I do a whole sequence, kind of like eye yoga exercises for, you know, when you've been squinting at the computer for a long time, so go one way. Now, leaving the arms there, you're going to take your whole head. It's always good to take your entire head. So one way, check your fingers out, looking at your fingers, really focusing on your fingernails, and then the other way. And keep just in your own time. So you can go however slowly or quickly you want to go, but just going from side to side. And just acknowledge if there's any tension in your shoulders. Just breathe into it, still remaining focused. Now, this time, just relax your arms down. We're going to go back to that same position, but we're going to what I call smile in your head. In other words, we're not doing an entire head roll, because it's not very good for the back of your neck to kind of be backwards, but we can smile. In other words, draw a smiley face with your nose, yes? So you're looking at one hand, so you're dropping down and looking at the other. Dropping down, yes. So if you have a nose, have a marker pen, it could be drawing a smile. And you could have a little smile at each hand when you get there. And once more each way. Lovely. Just come to center, relaxing your arms down. Just going to drop your chin to your chest and breathe out. Just allow your shoulders to kind of drop. Place your hands on the backs of your shoulder blades. Just apply a bit of pressure and just draw it down. Again, just any tension. Shaking it off. And then do you remember yesterday or the day before we did this? And just say or think, I release tension. I release all tension from my body. Any way you want to get rid of that. Okay. Now, we're going to start. Ageless mobility is our focus. So it is choosing all these different parts of our body and kind of focusing in on each part and just mobilizing. So we'll start with our hips. Anything that seems too big or too little, just adapt it. So initially, keep your legs never locked, but don't bend them as such. You can just keep them soft, yeah? And you're going to try, have your hands on your hips so you can place them in the small of your back. Try and make as big of a circle as you can. Highly attractive. So when you're going back, you are sticking your bottom out, which is not allowed in ballet, so I'm going to make the most of it now. Circling around. Just feeling that movement in your hip flexors. And then when you've gone one way, go back around the way. Breathing into it. Lovely. Now we're going to soften the knees. This time you can bend the knees. And we're going to imagine, so you're going to take them smaller, you're going to circle around, so you might want to kind of really hone in on your hips. Take a few like that. And then imagine you're in water, goes down a plug hole, and it kind of gets faster and faster. And it kind of, that's what you're going to try and mimic. So start off with as big of a range of movement as you can. And then imagine that water going down the plug hole. It's going to get smaller and smaller and faster until it's almost, you're hardly making any movement. You can kind of still sense it in your body that the water is going down the plug. Lovely, then go the other way. So a big circle. And then really anchoring down into your heels and allow it to get smaller and smaller. So think of your core. Smaller, smaller. Excellent. So now we're going to go some hip hinges. So for this one, if you place your hands in the small of your back, this could be quite a big movement. Again, when you're going backwards, don't be tempted to drop your neck out of alignment. Try and, I will say this in ballet, I honestly say it a lot. Imagine there's someone supporting you. You know, like when you cradle a baby, how you hold a baby, well, how you're supposed to hold a baby, yes, in the back of their head there, and small of the back, so that when you're going back, you might be taking your head back and not, it's not like gymnastics, yeah. So your hands are in the small of your back. First of all, you're going to drop forwards. So again, keep your neck in alignment, and then when you hinge back, just look up at the ceiling. And you're just going to do that. So you could take it really little, just hinging one way and the other way. That's it. Or you could take it as really quite a big squat down and bending the knees. So if you think hip hinges, think of a big hinge on a very ornate door. That is what we are opening. We'll just take two more. And the last one. Excellent. Lovely. Right, just give everything a shake out. Now we're going to have a little lateral stretch. So you're going to take one of your wrists, you're just gently going to clasp hold of it. So dropping in, again, it's quite nice to imagine like an anchor coming down from the base of your spine. It's like really anchored. Bring this hand up over and you're going to just gently pull it. So you can kind of jiggle into it a little bit. Just have a little bit of, movement if you want to wiggle around a bit, but feel the action of the fact that you're pulling that hand, that you're getting a really lovely stretch down here. And then just release it. Let me go with the other one. So just gently holding your wrist and then sitting into it and just have a wiggle. Excellent. Lovely. So now we've got a really lovely one for mobilizing the middle of your spine. So there's different ways of doing this, and you don't have to go as far as I'm going to suggest that you go. You probably have to. So one hand rests on your thigh. Now that's there to stabilize you. It's not that you necessarily need it, but if you're dropping down, you want to use it to kind of push yourself back up. That's why it's there. Yeah. So the other arm, your right one, you're going to reach up and look at it. Yeah. Breathing in. Now on the exhale, you're just going to come just above your knee. Place your hand above your knee and then just come back up. Yeah. So position one, in fact, I'll talk you through it first of all. Position one is above your knee. Position two is below your knee. Position three is your ankle. If you can. If not, it will be below your knee twice. Yes. So when you do your ankle, bend your knees. So position three would be down there. Yeah. If you want to. Yes. And each time you want to breathe in. So then breathe in and come above your knee. Push off, breathing in and go below your knee. Remember, you can use your other hand to bring you back up. Amazing. And then breathing out and dropping over towards the outside of that ankle and coming up. Then we're going to change hands. So drawing up, spinning almost with your palm of your hand being forwards. You're going above your knee. Below your knee. And then all the way down and up. And just allow those arms to come down. Now, I want to do a little technique with you just to kind of prove a point. So for this one, all you're going to do, and you may have done this, but do you know what? I've done this. I tested myself. I've done this a few times. And even though I know what's coming, it still always surprises me. So what you can do is you can stand with your feet hip distance apart. Just watch, there's nothing too close behind you. You can whack with your hand. You're going to bring one hand in front of you. You could even point your finger if you wanted to. And what you're going to do is you keep your eyes open, but you're going to swing your arm around as far as you can go and just look at it. Yeah. So just like, so if this is me being you, you're going to swing around, I'm just going to look and I'm just going to come back. Yeah, should just give that a go. And it doesn't matter, I'm doing it with this arm, you could do it with the other arm, it really doesn't matter which arm. You're just going to bring it up, look at your finger or look at your hand, swing it around behind you, come back and relax down. That was nice and easy, wasn't it? Now, close your eyes. Don't do anything. In your mind's eye, visualize your hand coming up and imagine it swinging around so much further and coming back to center. And just imagine that again, your hand's coming up, it's swinging around, it's maybe going a third more further than it did before, and it's coming back around. And just hold that thought in your mind. Okay, now I'm going to try it. So you can open your eyes. So you're going to bring that hand up. So you've got your eyes open, because otherwise you won't be able to see how far it's gone. And you swing around. Ah, did it go further? It's strange, isn't it? I even know that I know what that is. Yes, that is an example of mental rehearsing, which I do cover a slightly different way of going about it in the Chi-Ballet course. But mental rehearsing, the act of, so for flexibility, if you wanted to be a little bit more flexible, you know, we talked about that focus wheel yesterday. If in the middle of your focus wheel it said, I'm going to do the box splits by Christmas, would you be able to get on that? Would you be able to get on? I mean, I wouldn't be able to. However, if my flexibility was that I could maybe get that down that far, if I put that, you know, I could visualize myself dropping down and my fingertips raising the floor, that is something I could work with, yes, and visualizing doing it. So this is how you use that kind of mental rehearsing. This is how athletes work, yes. They don't keep practicing, you know, whatever sport it is, or dancers, they use mental rehearsing. So we're going to now actually do something for our rotational muscles. So it's called temple bells, and you may have done this. I absolutely love this because it also involves hitting yourself, which, you know, as I said, with tapping, I quite like that. So you're going to start swinging, and as you're swinging, you can kind of loosely kind of bring your hands into like little fists, and as you swing, just wherever your body swings to, you, like a bell, you hit it, not too hard, and then you're going to work up your body so it gets a little bit higher each time, remembering still to kind of remain a little bit anchored in the center of you, breathing into it, just taking up. So you just go to about shoulder height and then just bringing it gradually down. And as it comes lower, just allow it to get slower. Just bring it. Excellent. Now I'm going to scoop these arms up center so we can have a nice straight back. This again, imagine that anchor's dropped down. And we're going to sweep side to side. So you're trying with this to keep your hips facing front. I know they will move a little bit, but we're trying not to particularly make a big focus on the hips moving, more on the waist moving and rotating. Now try sweeping these arms. We've now got a flowing movement. And what you could say as you're doing this, I gather all good things to me. I gather all good things to me. Okay, and shake that out. So we're working through the body. We're now going to do your upper body. So for this one, you could have your hands on your thighs. You may not need to have your hands on your thighs. But the thing with this one is you're going to go sideways and you're going to drop down. So dropping down, you may feel that you need to use your hands on your thighs to go and come back up. I don't think you do. You all look very able to come up. But some people would need to kind of have that to kind of push themselves up. If you don't need it, you can just sort of swing down and around, yeah? But you're making a full circle one way, and then we'll go back the other way. So just dropping sideways, allow your head to be heavy, and then coming back up. And you want to feel that you are really pushing down through your heels. So we'll go once more each way, breathing out. Perfect. And back round. Lovely. So this next one, I'm going to show you it first, because whenever you do anything that involves hanging over, I know if you're anything like me, you want to have a look and see what's going on. But if you have a look where you're hanging over, it's not good for your neck. So I'll show you first of all. So what you're going to do is you're going to clasp your elbows together, and all you're going to do is just hinge at the hips and hang down. But what I would love for you to say is, I see life in a new perspective, and I'm curious. And then you're going to get curious. Do you know, when I did this earlier, I got curious as to all the rubbish under my sofa that I could see when I was upside down. So you're not going to be moving your neck, so you're not going to hurt anything. I'll show you first of all. So I'm going to say I'm open to seeing life in a new perspective. I'm open to being curious. And you're just going to drop down and just have a little look through your legs at what you can see, and just use the arms to kind of draw you. And you could sway over one leg and the other. And then when you've done, come back up. Yes. So have a little go at that. So you know, whatever it is you want to say, you know, being curious is such a gift in life. When we're curious, we're always learning, we're always like nourishing our minds, reading, we're always exploring. So just drop down, have a little look through your legs, keep your knees nice and soft, and then rolling back up. Excellent. Now this time when you drop down, just release your hands. And once you're down there, just rub the backs of your legs and come up. Yeah, so just drop down, allow your fingertips to go towards the floor. Rub the backs of your calves, the backs of your legs. So we're increasing the blood flow through the legs, and then just rolling up on the end. Lovely. Just shake it all off. Now, we are going to move to our fingers. So, fingers. Give them a little rub. I'm coming in closer. So I'd love you to just try is to just really acknowledge your fingers, how much they enable us to do. The food that we eat gets there because we've managed to put it in our mouths. And in ballet, certainly, our fingers are something which beautify the lines that we're creating with our arms. Now, much with the eyes, we want to try and focus in with your fingers. So place your hands like this and just have a go at lifting a finger at a time, or lifting, like choose two fingers that you're going to try and lift. It's hard, it takes a lot of focus. Just play around with it for like half a minute. So just going to, whatever fingers you want to lift, just try lifting them. Then maybe try lifting, I don't know, like the baby finger and the middle finger and the thumb at the same time, and then try swapping it around. It's hard. This is what concert pianists do. Then you can swap it around so the other finger gets, the other hand gets to go. So just try lifting them up. But just really put some focus into your fingers, how they look, how it feels to try and work out which one you're lifting. Excellent. So again, that's a little something you can play around with. Now we're just going to gently circle your fingers one way. Breathing into it, and then circle them the other way. To remind you of the beautifying face. Lovely. Now, we're going to clench them, so really, really clench them. And as we do this, we're also going to do a qigong move where you suck as if you're sucking up a straw, go, and you make the most beautiful face by clenching everything. I see your cheek muscles, everything. But not only that, we're going to clench every muscle in your body, so your bottom, your tummy, everything. So clench it in with these hands holding quite a lot of tension and suck up the straw. So go, lovely. And then when you exhale, you're going to step outwards. I'm going to step this way so you can see. Step out with your wrists flexed. So yes, and then allow it to drop down. There we go. Sorry, I just can't fit on. There we go. So from there, flex the wrists and just circle them around one way and just feel that flexion. And back round the way. Lovely. Okay. And then just shaking it out. So do you remember our pliés of gratitude where we were bringing everything in and extending? So we're just going to, if you need to warm your knees up, just give them a little warm. I hope they're quite warm from all of this hinges. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let you just pick what it is you want to draw in, and what it is you want to expand. Just bringing it all in. Feel those feet extended on the floor, no tension. Just ease and flow. And just give me one more. So we're going to beautify and tone the arms. So what you do is you're going to rotate your arms this way, so the palms are backwards, and then this way. So just do a few like that, just kind of use these arms in this way. Now we're going to make it a little bit bigger, so you're kind of making figure of eights. Can you see how if I had a pen, I'm making a figure of eight? Lovely. So it's a really good one for activating this part of your back. Now with this, I'm coming over here a little bit. You could keep your feet parallel and you could actually drop and lift. So you could take it down. So with this, what I love about all of these exercises is you could make them really small and put a lot of mindfulness into just doing a small movement, or you could be really elaborate and take it really big. So, or you could be somewhere in the middle, but just, yes, your arms look so beautiful. Now we are going to ballet this up somewhat by, now again, I'll give you some choices. This lunging action, so we've already hinged ourselves, used our hips, but this we're doing it with turned out legs. And this is very reminiscent of Swan Lake, has a lot of these movements. So you could keep your knees soft and, you know, obviously as you're dropping forwards, bend one knee, and you could even take it all the way down to the floor. Or you could allow your toes to come off. So if I come this way, so you could be pointing the foot and pointing the foot. So you're like lunging into it. So experiment. You might want to start off maybe really little, just a little one. Just taking, I know I'm miles away from you now, but at least I'm all in. You can take it bigger. Breathing into that. And you could try taking the toes to a pointed position. And suddenly we are lovely. Have a go on the other leg. So start off small. Literally dancing with those fingertips. Take it a bit bigger. And what we're going to say, we're thinking of infinity because the letter 8 is the symbol of infinity. So as you're doing this, you're going to say, I have boundless energy. And feel it. I have boundless energy. I have boundless enthusiasm. And I have boundless motivation. Yes. Amazing. Lovely. So again, just shaking it out. Oh, you're all right for time. You're all right for time. I've just realised I'm going over. Let's just do one more. So what I would love for you to try and do now is bring your feet parallel. I would love for you to now imagine an eagle. Okay. And so those arms that we just did were very kind of swan-like. These are even more so. But rather than channeling a swan, we're going to channel eagles. So your arms are going to come up, and as you're coming in, you want to imagine you're soaring. And your little affirmation is, I am feeling the freedom of life. I am feeling the freedom of life. I fly and prosper. Just imagine yourself as strong as an eagle. Nice, right. Okay, I'm mindful of time, so I'm going to cut a couple of ones out. But I'm going to do, I think, my two favourite ones. So what I would love you to do is come to a nice still position. Bring your arms. So in ballet, this is second. It's when your shoulder is higher than your elbow, is higher than your wrist. Your palms, if you were, you'd be giving yourself a clap if they were in together. I also call it tree hugging pose. So ordinarily in ballet, you'd be in this position, but because I'd like you to shut your eyes, I think it's probably better if you bring your feet into more of a, not parallel, but more natural position. So again, strike this position, feel as if you've got oranges or something on your shoulders, so you're not hunched up. Your shoulders are higher than your elbows, higher than your wrist. And just in your mind's eye, imagine yourself hugging a giant oak tree. And this oak tree is 200 years old. It's huge. And you're hugging it. And what we're going to do is we're going to visualize this oak tree in reverse. So as your arms start to come in, imagine the years slipping by and you are now hugging a 100-year oak tree. So it's a bit smaller. And your arms are floating in 90, 80, 70, 60, all the way in. until you are hugging a 10-year-old oak tree. Notice in your mind how different it looks. 9-year-old, 8, 7, 6, these hands are getting smaller. 4, 3, 2. Turning the palms of your hands and imagine you are holding an acorn. This acorn, at the heart of it, is a mighty oak. And if in your mind's eye, imagine this acorn now is a tiny little ball of white light. I'm just going to bring it to your tummy, holding it there, and just repeat after me. I see my potential. I learn and grow. And know that within you, just like an acorn, there is the potential for a mighty oak. So we're just going to finish up by picking up some chi. And we're going to send it out to each other. So just sending it out as pure love. Wrap it in a chi ball, almost like a gift. Bring it up past your head and lifting it up to the ceiling. And you go again. So you're going to pick it up, relaxing your body. And as you're bringing it up and pushing out, you could say, I love my life. I love my life. And wrap it in a chi ball. Lifting up. I'm open to wisdom and guidance. And just relax those arms all the way down. Place one hand on your tummy, your power center, and then one where your third eye is, which is in the middle of your forehead. And that just kind of anchors everything in that we've done. Take a gentle, loving breath in and exhale. Lovely. So just have a little sit down. I'm just going to very, very quickly. I literally, once I get started. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope your bodies are feeling like I'm now ready for a dance class. I already filmed 2 hours worth of ballet before I came on with you. Now, I wanted to just very briefly, because you might be thinking, you might not be, you might be thinking, that's it, goodbye. But you might be thinking, what now? Which is a very good question. If you're thinking that, that's 10 out of 10. So I know some of you already have my Chi-Ballet, Body of a Ballerina, Mind of a Monk, little mini course I created. If you haven't and you want to know, you're curious what it is, I'm very quickly going to tell you what it is. So it's something that has been pre-recorded, so it's not live. Well, obviously I was alive when I filmed it, but it's not like this, it's not live. There's 3 modules and there's 5 little lessons in each module. Now, I just want to reassure you that I should point out, I know I talk a lot, but I'm not about adding extra fluff anywhere it doesn't need to be. So I have not made this like a 70-hour course just for the sake of it. These 5 little lessons are short. Some of them are only like 10-15 minutes. The maximum is half an hour, because the whole reason behind it is I want for you, actually, you know, I'm going to give you a really good analogy. Do we all know how good broccoli is? When it comes to vegetables, how high does broccoli score on the superfood? Like, broccoli's amazing, isn't it? Like, yeah. How amazing is broccoli if you buy it and leave it in your fridge? Yes. So my point there is, you can know how amazingly healthy broccoli is, but if you don't eat it, it's not going to do you any good. Much the same as they call it shelf help. You know, when you have all those books on your shelf that are full of amazing wisdom, but they are not self-help, they are shelf-help because you haven't opened any of them. Yes. So what I've done is just literally shown you. So in module 1, setting healthy habits, starting the day with gratitude. So it's my morning practice. The book that is in module 1. It's not the actual book. That's something if you wanted to buy, it's a separate thing on Amazon, but it's printable. Or you could just use I quite like using just a book that brings me joy. You know, you have a nice, I've got a lovely one, which I'm going to be very sad when I finish it. Look at that. It's got gold leaf down the edge and it's got a ribbon which says, make everything an adventure. I'm like, well, like, to be fair, I could use that ribbon in the next book. So that's not the end of the world when I finish it, but I'm rather attached to that. So there's a morning sequence. There is that book. There's an evening sequence, so in reverse for kind of, you know, de-stressing you. And then I know I shouldn't say I love this because I did actually make this up. There's an evening meditation. It's a tutu meditation. So if you like the chakras and you like ballet, this will be right up your street because you're visualizing these colorful tutus that are also healing each of your chakras. So that's module 1. Module 2 is how to create a chi ball, which some of you I'm sure are familiar with. Any opportunity to do one of those. Exercises for your feet. So we haven't particularly covered the feet. I know you've been standing on them, but we haven't done anything specifically for your feet. The steps of gratitude based on a famous Albert Einstein quote. The graceful practice, swan arms. So we did eagles today, but swan arms, and also learning some actual port de bras, which are ballet. That's the name. What it literally means, carriage of your arms. Flexibility, so there's like a sort of seated mat section. Mental rehearsing, so we did a little bit of that. There's a little assignment there. And then module 3, so there are some lessons that are ballet steps, but unlike a ballet class where you have all of these steps all mixed in together, and if you haven't done ballet before, it can be a bit like, what? These are 1, 2, or 3 steps, but really focused in. So for example, in ballet, there's a step called attitude. And what we do in this is we also kind of like think about your actual attitude. So if you are in one of my classes, this is not intended to be a replacement for it, it's an enhancer of. So the next time you're doing an attitude, instead of just thinking, oh, have I got that quite right? Am I doing it? Thinking, what's my attitude like tonight? How have I been speaking to my friends and family? Yeah. Arabesque, that's a ballet power pose. Oh, gosh, I'm getting excited all over again. I've forgotten I've done all this. Mindset toolbox, that is EFT, emotional freedom technique. I have to share it. Whenever I get an opportunity, I share it because in my own life, it has been a total game changer. See, look, I've managed to do some like weird hands up signal there. Sorry, that's me getting excited. So if you haven't done that, it is an amazing thing to learn. It's something you can learn it and straight away start benefiting from it. We've already done some of it today, the tapping. And then there's a little bit more dancing towards the end. So that's that. At the moment, I will send some form of communication out to you, pigeon. I think it's reduced at the moment. It's a special offer till the end of the month. I think it's like 39. It's some really random amount. I think it's because it's got 60% off. It's like £39.60 or something strange. So that's that. What else can I do for you? So if you have any desire and you're not already a ballet dancer with me and you really feel like being brave and you want to hop on Zoom and join in one of the many ballet, I teach 5 classes for adults. You don't want to come to one of the kiddies classes. Things get a little wild in those classes. You are very welcome. The first one is a gift. And the other thing is, I've mentioned it a few times, on a Wednesday evening, I do an hour from 7:30 till 8:30. Some of you already do this with me. That is getting in a happy place with Charlie. So it is, we cover everything from getting in a happy place with your finances, with your health, with your productivity, with your motivation, with self-esteem, with focus, clarity, you name it. You can imagine, I've been doing it for over a year, every single week. It was supposed to be a 6-week course. The first 6 weeks lasted for 36 weeks, and the second 6-week course is now up to week 41. That's how much we love it. And that is a mixture of EFT, Qigong, so I did Qigong in it, so we're not sitting down for the whole hour, Reiki, because I'm a Reiki practitioner, Ho'oponopono, don't ask me to spell it, but no, I do know how to spell it, but that again is an amazing tool. And what else? Oh yeah, chakra healing. Pretty much anything that I have learned and I can share. I recently qualified as a belief clearing coach, so I am going to be doing a course on that soon. That's me done. So if there is anything at all that I can do for you or offer to you, you know, just get in touch. But I'm going to stop recording now and check in with you.